Agency, Auto, Home, Flood, Business, 504-556-0809. Dave me at insagency.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Yes, 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 and yes. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yes, it's Friday. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yes, the weekend is upon us. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Work week. Hasta la vista. Drew Brees is correct. It's New Orleans, and we know how to do the weekend. We know how to do the weekend right. Coupled with some absolutely fantastic weather. Dare I say it, it was 60-something degrees earlier today. This morning, waking up on the South Shore in New Orleans, 60s. I'm assuming the North Shore, some of you folks may have dipped into the high 50s. Definitely low 60s. Definitely low 60s. I'm assuming high 50s somewhere on the North Shore. Really nice day, low humidity. Heated up a little bit. We probably got to like 78, 80 degrees, maybe low 80s. I didn't check the weather.com website. But it's a pretty glorious afternoon, especially after, I don't know, I guess a mild summer, you could say. Drought-like summer. Again, not a lot of rain. But we didn't hit a lot of feels like 105. Just a handful of days all summer long where it felt like 105, just a handful of days. So that was pretty good. Anyway, we're out of the summer season. We're in the non-summer season till like late April or May. Get outside and enjoy it. I was talking to a friend of mine, husband, wife, 3 kids. They're going to South Alabama, heading down to Orange Beach, Gulf Shores area. Going to check in down there and check out from the real world till Monday. Extended weekend till Monday. How nice is that? When you get like that 3-day gimmick down there on the beach, you really have to disengage quick. You almost have to like toss this thing. You know, you almost have to get rid of the old cellular device / computer / email / intranet. Ugh. A necessary evil, that darn cellular device. No, just really nice day. Get outside and enjoy it. Sun goes down kind of quick. And, you know, the gimmick next month will fall back to that 5:15 getting dark thing. But no, right now, about 6:45, 6:50, it pretty much gets dark. So get outside and enjoy it. And this weekend's supposed to be spectacular. Like 60s, waking up on the South Shore tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. And I'm sure on the North Shore, it could be some high 50s, low 60s for sure. By the way, that's this weekend. That's like next week. That's the foreseeable future. Like the week and a half forecast, sunny skies, 60s and 70s. Might hit like 80 as a high, but looks like a lot of low humidity. Did I say get out and enjoy it? Speaking of getting out and enjoy it, I went to Lebanon's Cafe today for lunch. Picked up some chicken shawarma, fried football kibbe, some tabbouleh, my usual to-go order, some of that great pita bread. Still have a lot of it back at home. Tabbouleh left over, chicken shawarma left over, pita bread left over. Knocked out the entire fried kibbe. That's just a little Lebanese meat pie. Get over there tonight. They're open right now if you want to get an early dinner going. 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9:30. Yeah, they're cooking lamb chops and shish kebab till 9:30, 7 days a week. You'll enjoy it. Big portions. It's authentic. It's fresh. It's healthy. It's priced right. There's no downside. Tonight for dinner, Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Yeah, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Tomorrow, not just a regular Saturday. Get out there and vote. Mayoral election tomorrow. I'm voting for Helena Moreno. I'm hoping for some change. I see her having the most diverse group of support. And I'm pretty confident Helena Moreno, Oliver Thomas, Royce Duplessis have the Democrat liberal ideology covered. Probably a lot more so, each and every one of them, than I would like. They're not like moderate Democrats. They're not a John Bel Edwards. They're not blue dog Democrats. They're sort of the flip side of a blue dog Democrat. Progressive, borderline woke. They're not extreme. They're not loony left, but they're left of center on the liberal Democrat side. Helena Moreno has a lot of support from conservative Republicans. It's diverse. It's a gumbo. So you look in the gumbo, there's shrimp, there's crawfish, there's crab meat. You know, you got okra, got some Louisiana rice, a great roux, the Trinity that built it, the whole deal. You know, she's got that kind of support. Royce Duplessis and Oliver Thomas it's a different type of gumbo. It's a little less chock full of multiple ingredients, maybe just more of like a chicken andouille or, you know, simple seafood, not, you know, no crab meat or, you know. So I think New Orleans desperately needs some conservative Republican ideology. The city has been failing for decades politically, economically, for decades. And we're surrounded by booming cities emerging like Birmingham, Alabama, about to surpass New Orleans metro in population. It's sickening. I don't like knowing those facts and just, hey, man, going to the Tiger game tomorrow night, not worried about that. I'm going to the Tiger game, and I'm worried about that. You know, I'm going to check out the Tigers, and I'm worried about that. So that's kind of a bummer. And I think just this, you know, retreading of the same tire over and over again, never getting any kind of a new tire, you know, putting a new transmission in the same old car. I mean, we need some new ideas. We need fresh ideas, fresh thinking. I think Helena Moreno's not changing the core of who she is, but Helena Moreno, the support she's received and her probably becoming the next mayor of the city, she has people to thank for that support, and a lot of them are conservative Republicans that are expecting her to embrace some of that ideology. So honestly, I mean, that's like the number one thing. Forget about all the other stuff. I can just look at it with this one thing, like which candidate, because this is the biggest dysfunction in New Orleans. There's not an elected Republican. There's not an anointed or appointed Republican of any stature anywhere in city government. It's mind-blowing. And I'm not some Republican advocate or Democrat advocate. I'm a registered independent. You know, the city just is broken, and it's never had any real conservative, you know, ideology implemented, rarely if ever. And so when it does get implemented, it's sort of jammed down the city's throat. So I'm kind of breaking it down real simple. I mean, you can go to platforms and all this. I don't think anyone's thrown anything out there that's like revolutionary on their platforms or during a debate or that you're hearing on radio or television in their commercials. So it boils down to which candidate is going to work some percentage of what they do. It could be advisors on their staff members, you know, what percentage of what they do is going to be influenced greatly by conservative Republican leader types, politicos, influencers in New Orleans and even beyond New Orleans. And I think Helena Moreno will accept the largest percentage of that input, of that ideology. And it's so desperately needed. Again, I don't think the Republicans have all the answers or the Democrats, but this sort of almost woke, hyper-progressive, exclusive Democrat, liberal running of New Orleans, it's become like a bad habit. It's always going to be run by Democrats. It's always going to just that never change mentality, just broken system, can't change it, can't fix it. Helena Moreno, I think, is competent. I think she's smarter than the average person, out there. I think she's smarter, has a, wider scope of thinking and listening, and knows how to get things done, is successful. And I think she's going to bring in some conservative Republican type ideology and views. And I think that's going to benefit the city greatly and move us forward. Just someone that's honest. Her and her husband have money. They're not in this to set themselves up or their friends or family. They'll be like, none of that. There'll be none of that. She's not built that way. Doesn't think that way. So there'll be none of that. And that's a big blessing. She's going to get Republican conservative ideals implemented. And I think she's a big thinker that will look at other cities that have successful mayors and figure out what they do and have advisors that tell her and go in that direction. She'll work with the city council. She comes from there, understands how that works. So that's my choice. I do a talk radio, talk television program. Opinions is what we do. Of course, I have to tell you who I'm voting for. It would be silly not to. Mayoral election tomorrow. Go vote. An Uber driver in the French Quarter carjacked, fought back, vehicle flipped, got thrown out, vehicle lands on him and kills him. The perpetrator flees. I think 2 other folks were helping him, 3 perpetrators total. Sickening. Miguel Nation Stemley from Boutte, right down the I-310, Metro New Orleans. Miguel Stemley killed, murdered, basically. Sickening. Fridays with Fletch, LSU TU Saints. Fridays with Fletcher Mackle next. Fantasy Friday.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Friday afternoon, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. The weekend is upon us. A little after 4 p.m., 4:20-ish Friday. That means Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackel, WDSU Channel 6 Sports Director, joins us. What up, Fletch?
Hi, Corey. What's up?
SOS, same old stuff. Yeah, looking forward to the weekend. I'll tell you what. How about this weather, man? Perfect, huh?
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Could be maybe a tad bit cooler during the day, but you know what? I'm not going to complain. In the mornings, it's cool. Last night, I covered the Tulane game. Once the sun set on the field, It was like magical. It was fantastic. So, yeah, no rain. We avoided, knock on wood, all the hurricanes. This summer. It's good to be October in New Orleans right now.
You got me set up to vent now. I'll make it quick. I don't know what the problem is with Tulane's athletic department. They're just sort of lame. They're reactive, not proactive. No marketing campaign. I haven't seen anything about season tickets for football, game tickets, nothing. Zero. And if they are marketing it, they're putting it in the wrong places. I think they need to market, to people that have no connection to the school or the program in the metro area that don't want to spend money for Pels and Saints. So kind of twofold, Fletch. I think Tulane's athletic department does a terrible job promoting this really great product that you witnessed last night on a great weather night, coupled with the metro area doesn't, either know about it or think about it or does and doesn't react to it. It's just the crowd was, half full stadium essentially.
Yeah, it was. I was disappointed in that. I'm not going to lie. Look, I covered the Duke game earlier this year on a Saturday night, and that was the biggest crowd I'd seen in there since the conference championship game a few years ago against Central Florida. And they've had some big crowds, but that Duke crowd, student section off the charts. Everybody came out big time for the Duke game. And then this one was a little underwhelming. I mean, look, the student section wasn't packed, which that kind of blew me away.
Me too.
It's a beautiful Thursday night. You've got enough students to easily fill that thing like they did against Duke. And then there were some empties throughout the stadium. It was a little disheartening. And again, look, we could probably spend our whole segment talking about it, and I'm sure we don't want to do that because you said just let you vent quickly.
Yep.
But you're right. I do think it's a little bit twofold. I do think that, sure, I think Tulane tries to market themselves as New Orleans' team. I don't know what more they can do. Look, Ron Hunter does a great job outreach in the community, being involved in things. John Summerall, same thing. He's eating at restaurants, celebrating the culture, doing everything. And their university does buys on mainstream commercial networks to promote their product. So I would push back a little bit just saying they do try. I just do think there is a little bit of a disconnect because while I am a big Tulane person, I do understand that the bulk of their alumni base is not from here. Like, they have a massive population of Northeasterners and people coming from different areas of the country, and there just is not that connection with the regular people of New Orleans that make them say week in and week out.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, but there are too many small communities and with the same situation going on, and they pack their stadium. It's, 1 million plus people in the metro. You bring in like Houma, Thibodeau, Mississippi Gulf Coast. mean, I just think Fletch, like mom and dad, little Sally and Junior from Luling that have no connection to the university, it would have trouble finding it without GPS. They need to be marketed to and be buying a season ticket pack. That Tulane needs to make it like more than just, sell it to people that aren't going to spend that money on Saints or Pelicans because it's out of reach, or they, want to go to Disney World and don't want to put all the money into Saints or Pelicans. Let's move on unless you got a final thought.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of the Green Wave last night, taking care of business, the offense just, 4 field goals. It should have been like, 20-0, not 12-0, Fletch.
It should have been a laugher at halftime. I was there watching every play. They had 5 trips in the first half deep into the ECU territory, and they walk away with 4 field goals and then a turnover on downs when they fake the field goal to try to get the touchdown. So 5 trips deep into ECU territory in the first half, and you're only leading 12-0. I mean, they had like 269 to like 70 was the yardage at halftime. Statistically, in the first half, this should have been the backups playing in the fourth quarter. And instead, it's only 12-0. And then ECU gets hot, and then they're leading. And Tulane truly tried to steal defeat from the jaws of victory last night. And so I'm glad that John Sumrall, look, he said he's never been unhappy after a loss, but he was unhappy with the way his team played.
Yep.
11 penalties, shooting themselves in the foot, not being able to capitalize on a ton of opportunities. Again, look, they won. Statistically, they dominated. But when they play Memphis, if they play in a conference championship game, if they get to a playoff game, fingers crossed, if they play like this, it's going to be another game like Ole Miss where it's not even close.
You mentioned it. Sumrall went off afterwards. That's fantastic. That's exactly what you want to see. No offense, Brian Kelly in Baton Rouge jumps on the reporter when he was right on the money. Sumrall jumps ahead of the reporters in the media session, and he's already, stating the obvious.
Yeah, it was great. Look, I was there, and he said it. He goes, look, I love all these guys, and I believe in them, and I'm going to hug them. I'm going to hug some of them a little harder, though, this week because of some of the things that happened. And look, I'll say this. I keep telling you this on your show every week. John Sumrall's the best young college football coach in the entire sport. Of 133 or 34 teams, whatever there are, he's the best young coach in the sport. And this is why. He connects with his players. Even when he says he's not happy with the performance, he gets them to buy in immediately and believe in what he's saying, what he's doing. Whereas you do wonder sometimes if Kelly has the full buy-in from some of these guys, whereas there's no doubt that Sumrall absolutely does.
Hey, Fletch, before we move on, there are a lot of Power 4 jobs that are available now or are going to be. There are a few that are available now where interim coaches are coaching. The head coach has already been fired for the year. And there are a lot that are going to be available. Is there anything on the radar that looks like a good fit? Because Sumrall, I had him on the program a month ago, and he's like, he's turned down a couple of Power 4 opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what's going to happen at North Carolina, but I know last year it was Sumrall and Belichick, and there was a lot of North Carolina people that wanted Sumrall badly.
Yeah.
And he was in it, and he was interested. I mean, he pulled out, but he was interested. If things go sideways with Bill Belichick, do they just come running back to the guy that a large number of their alumni base wanted and their boosters wanted last year? And then, look, I would keep an eye. Look, I don't think Virginia Tech's the right fit for him. I don't think Oklahoma State's the right fit for him. Arkansas is a really good fit, but I think the coach at Memphis is probably going to be one of the top candidates. So Arkansas is a place you can win. It's an SEC job.
Wait. Hang on. Is Arkansas a place you can win?
Yeah.
Who's won at Arkansas?
Well, here's the thing. Look, the world we live in now, okay, with Arkansas has money and is going to have more money in their NIL. Arkansas is a team that can recruit Louisiana and Texas. Arkansas is a SEC team that hasn't always been an also-ran. So you're right. Look, they played in like one SEC championship game or something. I'm not going to sit here and try to make them out to be Alabama, but John Sumrall is not getting the job. Like, not that Callan DeBoer's going anywhere, but people that think he's only leaving for Bama or the big one, he's not. And look, this is the thing. There were people that thought, like, don't go to Tulane, John. Go from Troy to a Power 5. I look at Arkansas. I think coaches look at jobs is what it can be, not every negative. Like, North Carolina is a public Ivy. It's a basketball school, but it's a great state school in a great state. And you can go recruit Florida, and you can recruit the East Coast in the Virginia area where there's a ton of talent. Like, he was interested in that job. So if he's interested in North Carolina, it's not Clemson, it's not Florida State, but I think he thinks he can win there. I think you look at Arkansas and you say, look, they've got, like, Jerry Jones has deep pockets. The Walton family has deep pockets.
You make
I'm
good
not saying
points.
they're going to throw money around like Bama and
No. But if you can go into Texas and Louisiana, you can win. No, that's a good point. Wait, we only got about 2 minutes. Only got about 2 minutes. Can we move on real quick?
Yeah.
No, I could talk about it all day. I love hearing it. I'm just looking at the clock and 2 more subjects. LSU's offense gets going like it should be playing. They really shouldn't have much of a problem tomorrow night against South Carolina. But the offense hasn't gotten going all season long. Kelly's sort of promised Nussmeier will be at last year's form. I hope so.
I hope so too. I thought by now the offense would have clicked. Nussmeier would be healthy. I don't know what we're going to get out of LSU, to be honest with you. I have no clue. Both these teams had Heisman candidate quarterbacks when the season started, and both because of injury have been underwhelming. So I don't know which teams we get, which offenses we get from South Carolina and LSU on Saturday night.
Well, the one thing you get is solid defense from LSU.
100%. And I do think LSU is the better team. Do they win?
No.
But does the offense finally, is Nussmeier come out and we go, there he is. There's the dude we know.
No, exactly.
Again, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. Hey, finally, Saints in the Dome. Nice win against the Giants, and the Giants beat the Eagles last night, which is crazy. You never know. I mean, if you're a gambler, you're going to just be losing money. I don't know how you can win. Anyway, the Saints, it looked like maybe another shot at a victory with New England. And I'm not saying they don't, but New England's a little better than maybe everybody thought.
Yeah, New England's much better than people thought. Vrabel's a real deal coach.
Yep.
Drake May looks like he's going to be a real deal quarterback.
Yes, exactly.
Again, I do not see the Saints coming away with a victory on Sunday.
Yeah, no, you said it. I mean, it looks like they've got a really good coach and a really good quarterback. They're on their way. You don't think the Saints can overcome that?
No, I don't. I'm picking the Saints to win very few games. Miami, Tennessee, the Jets, maybe a split with the Panthers. The Saints are going to be the underdogs, and rightfully so, almost in every game this season, and especially against a red-hot team like New England.
Fletch, get on the electric bike and get outside already.
All right.
That's Fletcher Mackel coming right back, New Orleans.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters. Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. I can't tell you enough. If you like to go out and dine at restaurants in the metro area, you enjoy fine dining, nice restaurants. If you've never been to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville, you are missing out. I promise you. Two things if you go. One, you'll be like Corey said it best when he said, it's not good, it's not very good, it's excellent, you're going to love it. And two, you South Shore folks are going to be like me, heading over there every 2 or 3 weeks at worst. I've been there about 15 times in the last year when I first got introduced to Gallagher's 527. North Shore folks have known about it for more than a decade. I'm just learning about it, and I love it. Get over to the North Shore tonight or tomorrow night. Lunch Tuesday through Friday, dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. I promise you'll love it. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. It's that good. Another edition of Greater New Orleans Inc. with Michael Hecht, brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant in Elmwood. Check them out at latrim.com. What's up, Miguel?
What's up, KJ? Yeah, I've been to Gallagher's for lunch a bunch of times. It is, it's a top tier restaurant. It's I kind of feel like it's like, what do I compare it to? Not in cuisine, but in consistency. It's kind of like an herb saint. It's always excellent, friendly, professional. It's a great place.
Kind of like compare it to Clancy's in a way, like every.
Oh yeah. Clancy's is probably a better comp in terms of the feel. You're right.
And every damn thing on the menu is good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a bad item on the menu. It's crazy. It's just everything's delicious. It's just top notch. It's crazy how good it is.
Chef owned, chef driven. That's what you get, right?
Yeah, no, it's so true. And Michael, the talent in this town with just like chefs, musicians, artists, iron workers, whatever it might be. It's absolutely, off the charts.
I met a guy yesterday, forgetting his name, but I was having drinks with Sean Cummings at his hotel, International House.
We're supposed to have him on the segment with you and me. We're supposed to have him on.
But yeah, so Sean's great, and he has a new restaurant, an omakase sushi place next door, and the owner is LSU grad, wide receiver, former NFL player, nicest guy. And so I'm going to definitely go and check it out.
Who's the former LSU wide receiver, NFL? Odell Beckham?
No, it's not Odell. I would remember that. His name was, I want to say start with a J. I'll figure it out for the end of the segment.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it. That's good stuff. What's going on economically, Michael? Any singles, doubles, triples? Real quick, might as well get this out the way, the bad news. I don't get First off, Gordon Dove, I don't think is qualified to be the head of the Louisiana's Coastal Restoration Authority in the least bit. But that's Jeff Landry's prerogative. I think he makes some good calls, putting you in charge of getting New Orleans' you-know-what together for the Super Bowl. Gordon Dove, the diametric opposite. So whatever. This mid-Barataria diversion that was supposed to grow land on the west bank of Plaquemines has been scuttled. And now this mid-Breton sediment diversion to grow land on the east bank of Plaquemine has been scuttled. The fishermen, commercial fishermen. I mean, this is the definition of needs of the few outweigh the needs of the many, Michael. And two things. I think it's ridiculously, painfully short-sighted. Secondly, when a storm hits and storm surge comes rolling into the metro and people die, a lot of folks are going to blame them on these types of cancellations, land-growing projects.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this on radio, but I still haven't figured out exactly what's going on with that whole situation.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I do know that the diversion, regardless of efficacy, had become pretty outrageously expensive. $3 billion for a 2-mile canal. That was a head scratcher, but I don't understand the full story behind how this happened and what's meant to be replaced, to be honest. So it's frustrating, and I wish I had better insight into what really is going on, but I just don't right now.
Well, I don't think anyone does, and I think it just boils down to this. I mean, when Jeff Landry ran for governor, he never mentioned coastal restoration once. Since he's been governor, he's mentioned it twice when he's canceled the two biggest projects. So I don't think it's on his radar. I think he's got a lot on his plate. He's thinking about economy. He's like, maybe it's just simple as whoever's next governor in 7 years in his mind, I'll get 2 terms, that they'll deal with this coastal thing. I got to build the economy. Speaking of that, I mean, you can love Jeff Landry, hate Jeff Landry. It's like Trump, like him or hate him. There are lots of good things going on. There's some things maybe you don't like. Jeff Landry, these businesses that he's bringing in, these major multi-billion-dollar investments all over the state. I mean, you get $10 billion meta project in Richland Parish up by Monroe, like one of the poorest parish counties in America. He's doing something right. Hyundai plant, that wasn't a junket to South Korea. Jeff Landry's moving the needle.
No, let me be very clear about this. I've now been back in Louisiana since Katrina, 20 years. I've been through a number of administrations going back to Kathleen Blanco. Without this administration, in terms of the talent, and I don't know the right way to say this, but let me just kind of call it the sincerity, the authenticity of the focus on economic development around the state has never been matched. The combination of Jeff Landry and Susan Bourgeois at LED and her team, it's economic development is fun again, and very lucky. And we just got to make as much hay as we can, particularly in the energy sector, while the sun shines. While we have not only the team here, but we're lined up all the way to the White House, right?
Yeah, other governors have said, I'm running on a platform of Louisiana's open for business. This guy's done it in like a year.
Yeah, and we're also, and you can see it in the announcements. You can see it in us being back in the top 10 of the rankings, which we've been out of since 2016, I believe. You can see it just talking to people, talking to CEOs, talking to site selectors. There's an excitement about Louisiana that has not existed in a number of years. So, yeah, we're thrilled. It's really fun, and the wins are happening all over. Their tech, their energy. You're seeing the stuff that's happening in maritime. Massive announcement today with Bollinger, with the country of Finland, of which I'm honorary consul. It's cool. You saw my Sunday night highlight this last Sunday, about $3 billion of projects going on inside in New Orleans. So, for all the challenges that we've had, we're kind of chugging through.
What blows me away, just the sheer number of projects all over the state, like everybody represented, billions of dollars, great jobs, lots of construction. Now, I don't need an economics professor, Michael, to tell me all the micro stuff. I can just tell you the macro. Seeing, LNG is huge, and we're just going to continue to build those south of New Orleans, south of Lake Charles, and that Meta facility. I think we're going to have a bunch of those in Louisiana.
Yeah, the thing that's favoring us is the combination of energy needs going through the roof combined with the continued focus on lower carbon means that as long as we can stay focused on doing effective carbon capture, which is kind of the thing that the linchpin in all this, because it makes natural gas lower carbon intensity, then, we can just keep pushing it out. And the results is going to be jobs, property taxes for all these parishes, sales taxes on equipment, and just kind of a relevance, not just in the country, but in the world that we've not had in a long time. Because, just to give you a specific example of that, ever since the Russian invasion of Ukraine, it's been natural gas, over about 2/3 of which come from Louisiana, that are allowing Europe to move to our natural gas instead of buying it from Putin, feeding the Russian war machine. So it's a big deal. It's globally relevant. And I think it's our biggest opportunity to turn around our population trend that we've had, in our generation, Corey, biggest one since the 80s.
Michael Hecht with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Hey, Michael, after 12 years, the federal consent decree with the NOPD will come to an end.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. I absolutely think that it is deserved. I'm glad that it's happening. To some degree, I don't know, it's weird, Corey. It almost feels like a little bit, like it feels like deflating. Like it feels like there was so much hype around it and now it just kind of happened. I don't know, it's weird. Maybe there's so much else going on, but it's also coming at a time when there's been an uptick recently in violence. Some real tragic stuff happened recently.
Yep.
This carjacking yesterday, the woman celebrating her birthday, the chef. And so, but those two things are separate. It's
civil rights violations, basically, with the consent decree.
Correct, and they're so much better on that now. So I'm thrilled for them, and congratulations to the force and the chief and everybody involved.
What's fantastic about it, Michael? While the NOPD had the consent decree, while they literally, pun intended, were handcuffed, violent crime still came down. They became more proactive, less reactive. Of course, Troop NOLA has been tremendous. Now we might have some National Guard in the city as well. You're for or against it. Go fight that with your friends at the bar. They're probably coming. So like Kirkpatrick said, I'm going to work with it and accept it. Then now you're letting the cuffs off the NOPD. That can only be a positive for fighting violent crime.
Yeah, I agree, because the thing is that, Troop NOLA has been a game changer, really, really a game changer.
Yep.
For a number of reasons. One is just how well trained they are, how professional they are, how dedicated they are. But the other
hold that thought, Michael. Hold that thought. I'm going to knock out a quick break. Come right back. More on Troop NOLA. Plus, I want your take on a major event tomorrow, the mayor's election. Coming right back, New Orleans, with Michael Hecht.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Finishing up with Michael Hecht on a Friday. Michael Hecht, of course, with Greater New Orleans Inc. Michael, we were finishing. You were making a couple of points about, Troop NOLA, NOPD, handcuffs coming off the NOPD with this consent decree going away.
Yeah, just wanted to say that one of the things that Troop NOLA was able to do was they were able to pursue suspects.
Yep.
That's been not allowed under the consent decree. And, if you kind of think about what it looks like being in like the day of the life of a cop, you realize that, being able to go after the bad guys is probably a good thing because typically the bad guys don't just like walk up to you and give you their hands like they're the bad guy equivalent of that caipirinha, like the world's friendliest animal.
Exactly. If it were a Saturday Night Live sketch, it would show a criminal going in and out of the car and the cop getting in and out the car, like, door open, sitting in the seat, foot on the street, sitting on the seat, foot on the street. It's like the cops literally, the criminal could almost drive by and flip off the cop. Like the cop could not pursue. It's almost a joke. It's so cut and dry that New Orleans criminals, I think, got more brazen, Michael. I think they realized this is a reactive police force. They're not going to chase us. That's when you had these little smaller things happen, like the drifting, the four-wheelers on Sunday. With the Troop NOLA pursuing these guys, the word spread in the criminal community. They're not listening to you and I on a Friday or the news or reading the paper, but they're talking amongst themselves. Jimmy got his four-wheeler taken away. Billy got busted drifting and they took the car. He's in jail. And then, obviously the bigger crimes, they're like Troop NOLA's presence, man. The NOPD proactive. They realize this, and that's what,
the word absolutely gets around about where you can go, where you can't go. Look, when we had all those cameras going in the French Quarter, the word was don't go to the French Quarter because you're going to get busted.
Yep.
So, no, it matters.
Hey, speaking of it matters, Michael, the last 4 years especially, but you could argue the last 8, this mayor's been an absentee mayor. I called her Junket Cantrell about 6 years ago. Just, Jeff Landry goes to South Korea. We land a $5 billion Hyundai plant. There's not one junket Cantrell went on or one trip. Obviously a junket, there would be none, but not one trip she went on that wasn't a junket. Not one job created, not a dollar brought in. I don't want you to talk about that. And I don't want you, and I know you're not going to, it's not about endorsing a candidate. It's about new blood, someone that actually cares about the job, someone that's civic minded. Maybe we got a good chance on voting tomorrow to move this city forward. I think it's kind of by default, we'll move the city forward.
There is such excitement in the city about this election because, one, we have quality candidates. We really have quality candidates. And the second is that it's a chance to turn the page. And people are just ready to do it. So ready. I haven't felt this type of kind of just general kind of happy buzz optimism in a long time. And I think it's because people feel like they're kind of waking up from a fever dream. And now we get to actually go out and kind of get back to work, and I have to say, Corey, it's a testament to the people of this city and a testament to our potential that despite the challenges that we've had at the leadership level, we've got so much good going on, so much investment, so much excitement. We're still ranked as a top city in the country, the Super Bowl. So, imagine if we got everything working and everybody working in the same direction.
Michael, I think this election in New Orleans is going to be historic in an entirely different way. This is the last mainstream election. Like, it's turning to a different method. I think, like, if Elena Moreno wins and is successful, just like Jeff Landry, I think he'll get a second term, and I think Elena Moreno would get a second term. But somebody 40 or under, or even older, but I'm thinking 40 or under, that is insanely social media savvy, that's going to be the next mayor, and that's going to be future mayors. I'm in radio and television. I don't want it to go away, and it's not going away. It's just not going to be the way to win a campaign in the future. Scott Walker and Jefferson Parish sort of, gave us a little taste of that when he won that council seat.
Yeah, if you look at Mamdani in New York, that is the new model. And the thing is that what he showed is that it used to be that money buys attention. Now it's attention gets money. It's just been inverted.
Great point. No, you get some good TikTok videos going and you got some money coming in.
Correct.
No, I think this old school we're seeing the last of it. And it's going to be young people or someone, I don't know, someone who's older than 40 that uses a term like fever dream. They could win the mayor's election.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, I hear you.
We're running out of minutes.
You're having a fever dream. All right, Michael, before we let you go, any singles, doubles, triples, home runs, grand slams in our immediate future?
Yeah, we've got let's see, a couple of tech announcements we hope to make soon. One energy announcement I'm thinking about, and one announcement that if it comes through would be out of the park, series clinching grand slam. That I don't know what the chances are, but we're in the running.
And how many jobs is this?
It would be, I don't know the total number. It would be a few hundred jobs, though.
And they'd be like they'd be in the CBD or in Elmwood or where?
Hey Corey, no. I know this game you're playing.
Boy.
This is like animal, vegetable, mineral you're playing. You're going to get me to name the company, the CEO, the stock ticker. I know what you're getting to.
Yeah, that would be good information, and you just never say the name. Oh boy, Michael, have a great weekend. Get outside in this incredible weather.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. Enjoy it, everybody. Follow us here.
All right, there he goes. Michael Fever Dream Hecht. See you, brother.
See you, man.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yep, yeah, you're right. That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joining us every Friday. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. Hey, Art and Eyes on Magazine. They're open late tonight, open tomorrow, open on Sunday. You need a great pair of prescription frames, maybe a great pair of sunglasses. Go to Art and Eyes on Magazine. About 4,000 frames to choose from, all designer driven. Here's the best part. Trust me on this. Name brands you've never heard of. You've never heard of, and that's a good thing. Get some eyewear that's as unique as you. All different price points. Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Go check them out this weekend. Gorgeous weather. You need some good sunglasses. Art and Eyes on Magazine. There's Blue Boy saying stick around. 5 o'clock power hour next. A lot more coming your way. Don't move. Down, Blue Boy. Down, buddy. Down, buddy. Blue Boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Good boy.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yummy. Here we go, New Orleans. Winding down the work week. 5 o'clock power hour, Fantasy Friday. Corey Johnson with you, broadcasting front of in really one of the world's most interesting cities, huh? New Orleans. We've got major dysfunction and problems, but boy, is it still a great place to live. You're damn right, Drew Brees. No, it's a European masterpiece. And when the weather is like the weather we got going right now, it's pretty damn tough to beat for like the foreseeable future, the next week and a half. No rain, sunny every day, blue skies, 60s when you wake up, creeping into the 70s by lunchtime, maybe a high of 80, 81, 82, lower than normal humidity. Absolutely fantastic weather. Drop some coals, light up the gas, go dine outside, a restaurant that has outdoor dining. That's one of the positives from coronavirus crisis a few years back. A lot of high-end New Orleans restaurants didn't do to-go orders. Now just about every high-end New Orleans restaurant does a to-go order. You can order to-go food, which is fantastic. You know, it's not something you do every day, but something special, and you don't have to go to that high-end restaurant. A lot of restaurants have like even curbside pickup. You pull up right by the restaurant, and they walk it out to your car. Treyen in Mandeville, Lillette, curbside, walking right out to your car. And then outdoor dining. Outdoor dining. You'd think a city like New Orleans would have outdoor dining everywhere. I mean, think about New York. Cold, crappy weather. About 50% of the restaurants in Manhattan have outdoor dining. You know, a third of the restaurants, a large percentage of New York City restaurants have outdoor dining. And it can be 50 degrees and misty and rainy, and there'll still be people outside dining. You know, they're not doing it in the snow. They're not doing it in miserable weather, but they're doing it in weather that some would say, man, you know, it's questionable. No, it's amazing how New Orleans, maybe before the pandemic, had about, I don't know, a dozen restaurants maybe that had outdoor dining, like a dozen, like 15, most of them in the quarter. Now there's about 100 restaurants with outdoor dining. Yeah, drop some coals, light up the gas, you fry some seafood, grill some steaks, chicken, pork chops, burgers, dogs, whatever. Or dine outside at one of our fine restaurants because tough to beat this weather. Speaking of Katie's, they've got tables running around the corner. They're on Iberville at Tallahassee in Mid-City, right down Tallahassee, right down Iberville, tables lining the restaurant. Then you can dine inside, first floor or second floor, or in their newly created patio with like a 90-something inch flat screen where folks were enjoying Katie's Fair last night. Great food, great drinks, great people, great service, great patio, cool and comfortable. Tulane Green Wave picking up a big victory on the big flat screen. A bunch of flat screens, but they've got one inside and one in the patio that are like 90-something inches, monsters. And then, of course, you can check out the Tigers tomorrow night at Katie's. You can check out the Saints on Sunday brunch at Katie's. As New Orleans as it gets, Katie's in Mid-City, ringing that 5 o'clock whistle, ding, ding, ding. 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Now, we like putting a spotlight on this very moment. Friday, a little after 5. We know how fast the weekend goes by. I mean, like that, in like 7 minutes, it'll be Monday morning. Whole nother week to go into. So I like putting a spotlight on this very moment, a little bit after 5 p.m. on a Friday, like right now. Smell the roses, New Orleans. For most of us, the work week's in the books, and for most of us, the entire weekend's in front of us. I was talking to a friend today, husband, wife, 3 kids. They're going down to Gulf Shores to like Orange Beach down to South Alabama till Monday. Like, it's awesome. I mean, New Orleans, I was talking about how just great this city is. Had some friends. They do really well in Florida. They're like, move down here. I'm like, yeah, I just like music, food, architecture, history, culture, and people. And there's none of that on the panhandle of Florida. No history, no architecture, no food, no music, not all transient people, and no culture at all. So I'd like to go, but I really can't. No, New Orleans is great because those places are not in Metro New Orleans, but they're right down the road. I mean, you can be in Gulf Shores, Alabama, South Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, Perdido Key, Florida, over by the Floribama Bar, right by the Alabama-Florida line on the Gulf of Mexico in 3 hours from the French Quarter or Superdome. 3 hours and 15 minutes with Granny driving from New Orleans to Pensacola, Florida. All those great beach towns. I mean, Alabama's closer, but you got to go down little, 2-lane highways, things of that nature. Pensacola's all interstate, 3 hours, 15 minutes. You're on some of the best beaches in the world. Go another hour, you're in Destin. Go another 30 minutes past that, Highway 30A and all the great stuff they got going there. It's mind-blowing. That Apalachicola? Is that the river? Apalachicola that comes out by Panama City? That river, when it's in like Kentucky and Tennessee, there's all this quartz rock on the side of the river. And the river's constantly just grinding that quartz away slowly but surely. And that quartz is the sand you see on Pensacola Beach, Panama City Beach, Destin, Panama City, Highway 30A, Destin, Fort Walton. You keep going west, heading into Alabama. The reason like Ship Island and those islands off of Mississippi have nicer sand, that's like the last of it. It comes right out that Apalachicola into the Gulf, and the Gulf Stream pushes it due west immediately. That's why west of Panama City, not a lot of great beach west of Panama City. What's that island? St. Francis Island, St. Joseph Island, something. That's like where they get a lot of that sand. And then everything nice is west of there. And then as you get too far west, past, South Florida, Pensacola, Perdido, South Alabama, the sand's not quite as nice. It's getting a little thinner. It's not as much in the Gulf Stream. And Louisiana, the Mississippi River blunts all of that out. We get none of it. But no, nice beaches. Just another thing that makes New Orleans great. You go 2 hours south, Grand Isle, some of the best fishing in the world. Brackish, saltwater, freshwater, 15 minutes away from Metro New Orleans. All three. Sportsman's Paradise, some of the best fishing and hunting in the world. Just really incredible city. With all our dysfunction, with all our problems, with all the flight, folks leaving, stagnant, no growth, no young college graduates, very few college graduates moving here and, establishing their roots here like they do other metros in the country. No, we still kick ass and take names. It's pretty amazing. Thank God for our tourism and convention business. Thank God for New Orleans being known around the world and people wanting to come here. Thank God for that, because we, the old saying, we punch above our weight. We punch above our weight. I'm not knocking Metairie or the North Shore. Think how many like great restaurants, just for an example, just great restaurants we'll use for an example. There might be like 10 or so in Metairie. There might be like 15 or 20 on the North Shore. There's like north of 100 in New Orleans. We would have like 15 or 20. We'd be like the North Shore, Metairie, if we were just, any other city USA, Baltimore or something. But because we have that tourist driven economy, conventions, our roots, our history with this melting pot where we were a booming, growing city for, a few hundred years before the last 40 or 50. We just have incredible culture, incredible talent. Talking to Michael Hecht last hour, just the artists, the musicians, the chefs, people with talent, writers. It's a masterpiece, a European masterpiece in America. It's tough to beat New Orleans. Little island south of North America, north of the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty cool. The Isle of Orleans. Hey, it's a Fantasy Friday. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you're right. You got to love New Orleans. And you got to love this weather. Temperatures in the 60s this morning on the south shore of New Orleans. The north shore probably had low 60s, maybe high 50s. And what's great? For the next week and a half, for the foreseeable future, that's the forecast. 60s, going into the 70s, maybe 80s, and low humidity. Fantastic weather. Get outside, enjoy it. Make plans to get outside with friends and family. Whatever you do, get outside. Tomorrow, because of the fantastic weather and because of the importance of this race, I think we're going to have whatever it means in New Orleans, high voter turnout. It's not going to be, 23% or something last election for mayor, 19% turnout, something ridiculously low. I think LaToya Cantrell got like 12% of the population endorsing her. 12%. No, this next mayor is going to get a lot more than that. No, I think you'd have high voter turnout. Like I said, big election, a lot of emphasis on it, people interested in it, coupled with this fantastic weather. I'm voting for Helena Moreno. I'm going to decide by tomorrow either Wood Fork or Shorty for sheriff. Anybody but Hudson. That's an easy one. Pull the trigger for anyone but Susan Hudson. No, you're getting rid of LaToya Cantrell by term limits, thank God, and Susan Hudson by voters not voting for. That's a blessing. Those two were highly incompetent, ridiculous at what they did. Hey, tomorrow's a huge car buying day. I mean, if you're thinking about an F-150, wherever you're hearing me or listening to me, go to the big store, Lamarck Ford in Kenner, right outside of New Orleans. Lamarck Ford, the big store for 45 years. Lamarck Lincoln, number one in the state. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park will set you up. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Coming right back.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Yeah, you're right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday afternoon. Great weather. Get outside. I'm trying to figure out, do I drop coals tonight, invite some friends over and do some grilling and chilling? Or do I head out to one of our fine dining establishments and ideally eat outside? That hanger steak with those French fries at Lillet on Magazine. And outdoor dining, I could eat outside, either in their little courtyard or the tables that wrap around the building. No, that could be a good call. That hanger steak with the demi-glace, that sauce, all over those little cuts of hanger steak, fantastic. And then the French fries are fried in, I don't know what, like goose fat or something like that. They're just fantastic. Lebanon's Cafe, I had that for lunch, so I'm not going to go there for dinner, but I like eating outside there. Those wrought iron tables under the green awning on the streetcar line where Carrollton's one lane, that's always a good one. Trying to get a reservation for later this month, like a group of 20, lunchtime, outside. Want to go to the Quarter, this group, so I'm trying to get it at Bayona in the French Quarter. Their patio's incredible. Bayonne is so good. Susan Spicer just knows what she's doing. Irene's Cuisine. Irene's in the Quarter on Bienville. What is it, Bienville or let's see, Iberville? Yeah, it's Bienville. Iberville runs the other way. Bienville. They have a courtyard now, outdoor dining. It's incredible, Irene's. That restaurant's so underrated. And on a Friday night, it's just got a great vibe because you get like some tourists going in there, like out-of-towners, and a bunch of New Orleanians. They got like 3 little slots, little rooms. And then you got the big bar area now with tables, and then a private room, and then the back patio and courtyard. And they happen to have just the single best crab meat au gratin dish on planet Earth. Chef Nick and his mom, Irene, that crab meat au gratin is the single best example of that dish on planet Earth. Just chunks of Louisiana jumbo lump crab meat, fresh jumbo lump crab meat, local, and then 4 different kinds of cheese that just blend together perfectly. It's outstanding. And another thing, I'm not knocking like Mosca's or other places that do this, but the chicken rosmarino, that kind of grilled chicken with the olive oil, garlic, rosemary, little new potatoes. The best example of that dish on planet Earth is at Irene's in the Quarter. You go there and get the crab meat au gratin. You go there and you get that chicken rosmarino. It's just a grand slam home run. Here's a tip. If it's your first date, I brought many a first date to Irene's. It worked out well with all of them. Don't get the chicken rosmarino. Lots of garlic. No, that place is fantastic, and the patio is great. No, it's just we didn't have many outdoor dining opportunities in New Orleans. Now we got a bunch. It's really great. Clancy's in Uptown has outdoor dining. Patois right down the block, the old Norby's roast beef. If you're an old timer, they got the best outdoor table in the city. It's one table. There's this little side porch. It's like 6 feet by 6 feet, something like that, maybe 7 feet by 7 feet, this outdoor porch. It has 1 4-top table. It might even be a 2-top. Might just be a table for two. It's like a super romantic. No, it's just lots of great places with outdoor dining. Thank goodness. Because when the weather's like this, you want to get outside. And when the weather's like this, we're going to have a big turnout tomorrow for this mayor's race, coupled with a lot of people are excited to go vote. Helena Moreno, 50-50 chance she wins the thing tomorrow in the primary. Tomorrow night, we could have a new mayor in New Orleans. It could be over with. Could be Helena Moreno. There's a shot of that, 50-50. And then a 50-50 shot, there'll be a runoff, which would put another race a month from now, about 4.5 weeks away, November 15th. But who will be in the runoff? We know Helena Moreno is either winning or is in a runoff. That it would be the world's biggest upset. It would be the biggest fluke ever. It would be bigger than Joseph Gow defeating Bill Jefferson practically for congressman out in the East. It would almost be bigger than that. No, just, New Orleans defeating the British in the Battle of New Orleans, that kind of thing. If it's, hey, it's a Royce Duplessis, Oliver Thomas runoff. Oliver Thomas, 32%. Royce Duplessis, 31%. Helena Moreno, 30%. It would be something like that. It'd be like the David Dork, Edwin Edwards, the criminal, Buddy Romer thing. Basically a three-way tie, but somebody's got to come in third statistically and is out. No, it nearly impossible. You could almost bet your life on it. It's either Helena Moreno winning outright or at the very, very worst for her in the runoff, getting like 45, 46% or something. But the big question is, if there is a runoff, who's in that runoff? Because Oliver Thomas and Royce Duplessis are polling somewhere in the teens, both of them. Mid-teens, 15%, give or take 3-4 points. Could be as low as like 12, could be as high as like 18, 19%, but pretty much in the teens. If they're in the 20s, it would be very, very low, like 20, 21%. And I think that poll would be kind of the outlier. Most the polls lately have him in the teens. So who's going to emerge in second place if Helena Moreno doesn't get 50% plus one vote? I have no idea who's going to be runner-up in tomorrow's mayor's race. I honestly don't. I could sit here and argue why Royce Duplessis is. He's new. He's different. He's got energy, momentum. He's raised more money than Oliver Thomas. People want change. And then people know Oliver Thomas, name recognition. They think he's changed. They think he's the leader. It's now or never for him. I could argue either side. I have no idea who's coming in second tomorrow. But Helena Moreno's either going to win outright. We'll have a mayor by tomorrow night, or there'll be a runoff with Helena Moreno very close to 50% and either Oliver Thomas or Royce Duplessis. Now, Frank Janusa, the kind of lone viable Republican who's pulling a certain percentage, he went way down in the last poll to like 2%, but he was like 5% in that Fox poll they commissioned with Mason Dixon. So that's sort of a wild card. Like if a lot of Republicans vote for Frank Janusa, then maybe, it takes enough votes away from Helena Moreno where she doesn't win tomorrow and forces a turnover. I mean, I joked last week like Oliver Thomas should donate money to Frank Janusa's campaign. Because Oliver Thomas, I find it very difficult in my mind for him to lure white conservative Republican voters, where I think Royce Duplessis, a white Republican conservative that doesn't want to vote for Moreno for whatever reason, thinks she's too woke or liberal or progressive or whatever. I could see Royce Duplessis because he's new. He doesn't have any baggage like Oliver Thomas. He might be able to get some white conservative votes. I personally have a few friends, uptown New Orleans, conservative white guys voting for Royce Duplessis. Dan Reel comes on. He'll be back with us on Tuesday. The Real Deal with Dan Reel. He's voting for Royce Duplessis. He's donated to Royce Duplessis's campaign. So I don't see many white conservatives voting for Oliver Thomas. I think a small percentage will vote for Royce Duplessis. I think Helena Moreno has a large percentage. That's where most of the white conservative Republicans are voting, Helena Moreno. But the discovery of Frank Janusa the last few weeks, I think Frank Janusa does what the polls are saying, like 2-3%. Helena Moreno's chances of winning tomorrow outright are very, very good. if Frank Janusa ends up with like 4, 5, 6, 7%, like 7%, maybe Helena Moreno doesn't get over that 50% threshold. No, if she makes it, I guarantee you Frank Janusa is going to get like 2%. And if she doesn't, Frank Janusa might do surprisingly well. Or Royce Duplessis will have had to done, surprisingly well with those white conservative voters. The folks that are deciding this race in every major election in New Orleans, black female voters, black women control elections in New Orleans. They're the number one voting bloc, and they vote. They vote. Right now, Helena Moreno is getting I shouldn't say the most, or most, she is getting the most, the larger percentage of black female votes. Right on her tail is Oliver Thomas. And then kind of running up the rear is Royce Duplessis. The black female voters haven't gravitated to Royce Duplessis as much as maybe Oliver Thomas, and especially Helena Moreno. But there was a large undecided, I say large, like 15%. The last poll had it at 20. So 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7 voters undecided. About 70% of those are black female voters. So it's going to be really interesting, the undecided black female voters, where they go. Because if the undecided is split up like a third each, Helena Moreno wins tomorrow. But if the undecided, just the third each, she wins tomorrow. But if the undecided, and coupled with Helena Moreno maybe losing some white conservative Republican votes to Frank Janusa, there will be a runoff. Now, a lot of folks are like, Helena Moreno is going to win. Might as well get it over with tomorrow. A runoff's a waste of time, on and on and on. A friend of mine made a great point. He's like, man, you don't want a politician who goes in, you're like, Helena Moreno wins with the majority tomorrow. It's sort of a mandate, and a politician with a mandate maybe goes in with the wrong attitude. Like maybe what would be best for New Orleans, just a friend of mine brought this up and I thought it was valid in some ways. Maybe Helena Moreno being forced into a runoff keeps her a little more honest, has to fight for the seat. It's not a mandate. Had to go to a runoff, didn't win in the primary, because a politician with a mandate, it sort of, it boosts them up. They think they're right. Like everything they propose, that's what was embraced. Let's go with everything we're thinking. Where, boy, there was a runoff, have to fight for this and claw, maybe we need to have a little empathy, think outside the box, and maybe change some of what we're doing because we didn't win in the primary. So no, a mandate kind of patting a politician on the back, especially in New Orleans or Louisiana, like everybody's behind you. That's a little dangerous. About a year ago, Drew and his crew at Audubon Gutters put gutters on my house, and I loved it. It's fantastic. I got the leaf guard system. I'll never have to hire someone to get on a ladder and clean gutters anymore. They work great, and they're going to be there for decades. AudubonGutters.com. About a month later, I'm like going into like my back shed garage, in the back of my house, separate from the house. I'm like, I didn't get gutters put on here. I didn't even think to ask Drew to put gutters on here. Had him come out. He measured the house. I was there. I'm like, fantastic. He left. I was like,
game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey. Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
No, that's a true story and a funny story. I get Autumn and Gutters to come to my house. Drew comes out. They measure the house. Next day, his crew comes out. They knock out the gutters in a few hours. Happy as can be. About a month later, I'm got this little back shed in my house, separate from the house in the back corner of my yard. Didn't put gutters on that. I'm like, geez, and what are you thinking? So I called Drew and, I kind of put it off for a while. Just like, I don't need them right now. And then the last week or so, I got in touch with Drew, and they're coming out on Monday and measuring the shed and putting gutters on that with a couple of downspouts. If you need gutters for your home or business, audubongutters.com. 35 years in New Orleans. I love those guys. It's nice when you find ace in the hole type companies, like the best at what they do. You don't have to, go online or talk to friends. Who do you use for this? As you grow older, more experienced, you find these great companies and you stick with them forever because they're the best at what they do. Fantasy Friday edition of the program, ridiculously outstanding weather, blue skies, lower humidity. We woke up this morning on the South Shore of New Orleans, temperatures in the 60s. It's just tough to beat. New Orleans is a great place to live, period, even with all our incredible dysfunction. Great lifestyle in New Orleans. You don't even need a whole lot of money. Middle-class people can live like a kind of a rich lifestyle in New Orleans. So much to offer down here. And when you throw in this kind of weather, it's like a paradise. And for the next week, 10 days, waking up to the 60s on the South Shore and creeping up to like 80 or so during the day, lower humidity, just fantastic. Sunny skies, fantastic. Tomorrow, because of the great weather, coupled with the importance of the race, should have large turnout tomorrow for the mayor's race and sheriff. Anybody but Hudson. Friend of mine texted me, who are you voting for sheriff? Anybody but Hudson. Woodfork or Shorty? Anybody but Hudson. It's amazing. I mean, Woodfork got like 45% in the last poll. Hudson got 13 in second place. Shorty was like at 9. I'm like, how is Shorty behind Hudson? And how did Hudson get 13%, not like 3%? 13%. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. Like, what do you have to do to get people to not vote for you? 13%. What is that, like 1 out of 8 New Orleanians? 1 out of 8 still would vote for Susan Hudson? And that number may grow because the undecided was like 30% or something. So like she'll probably get like 20% of the vote. Like 1 out of 5 voters is going to vote for Susan Hudson. New Orleans, grow up already. Seriously. Go look in the mirror, evaluate yourself. It's crazy. It's insane. I mean, Susan Hudson's one of the most incompetent, irrational, deviant, basically, I mean, borderline criminal politicians that New Orleans has ever seen. Now, forget about the deviant, borderline criminal stuff. Just ineffective, incompetent, learning on the fly with the sheriff's department. We don't have time for that. It's 2025. New Orleans is a North American city, believe it or not. Can't have the sheriff learning on the fly. Susan Hudson's an embarrassment. Setting up friends and family with jobs. That woman that did nothing, her son who was disbarred, gets disbarred. She gives him a job right away, 6 figures. Who is it? Kristen Morales gets fired from the Office of Inspector General for stealing, for theft. Proven to be right. The next day, Susan Hudson hires her. And then we find out that was her former roommate, one of her friends, her pal, possibly in a romantic relationship. She hires her. It's mind-blowing. No, Susan Hudson simply incompetent, doesn't care. Now, here's the worst part. In the olden days, it'd be like, this person's just a deviant criminal, uneducated, stupid, whatever. Like LaToya Cantrell, Susan Hudson's educated. She has a college degree. Susan Hudson, unlike Cantrell, has multiple college degrees. She is educated. Does that mean she's smart? Not at all. The opposite. No, like LaToya Cantrell, Susan Hudson, I mean, a lot of people are educated. It's 2025. A lot of people can formulate sentences and speak, use proper grammar. Does that mean they're special or they're leaders? No. Like LaToya Cantrell, Susan Hudson is painfully average. Painfully average. And then coupled with no leadership skills, no organizational skills, both have a major problem of displacement, of projection, of blaming anyone but themselves. I mean, Susan Hudson, you name a problem at the jail and she runs the jail. It's someone else's fault. The locks, old administration. The jailbreak, my political opponents came up with the jailbreak. It was more of a jail let go. Under your watch. I mean, she's kind of indirectly bashing herself, but trying to blame it on other people. Not once has she taken responsibility for any of the major problems that have gone down at that jail. Always blaming someone else. No, Susan Hudson clearly isn't an option for the job. Wake up, New Orleans. Anybody but Susan Hudson. Vote for Michelle Woodfork or vote for Shorty, Edwin Shorty. That's it. That's easy. The mayor election, you got to come up with a decision. I'm voting for Helena Moreno. Why I think she separates herself from Oliver Thomas and Royce Duplessis clearly. They're all smart. They're all educated. I think Helena Moreno, when I talk about, Susan Hudson and LaToya Cantrell are painfully average. I don't think that Helena Moreno's painfully average. I think Helena Moreno's sort of special. Not like, boy, this incredible thinker, this dynamic thinker, an incredible visionary. She's the best. Never seen anyone like her. I remember Buddy Roemer. I thought Buddy Roemer was a lot like that. The best thing Louisiana's had to offer politically in a long, long time. I haven't seen too many Buddy Roemer types out there. But Helena Moreno, I think, is above average, brain level. I think she's smart. She is well-to-do. Her and her husband do well financially. She's not built to set up her friends or family with some BS nonsense with the city. She just doesn't think that way. And I think her campaign is the most racially diverse, the most diverse religiously, racially, sex, everything. I mean, male, female, gay, straight, black, white, female, male, all of it. She's got everything. And what I think is most important, more than black or white or gay, straight, male, female, any of that, conservative Republican support. Because New Orleans is a dysfunctional city and has been for decades. And it's hard to find an elected official or an appointed or anointed political person, someone in city government that has, substantial input that is a conservative or a Republican. Like, they don't exist in New Orleans city government. So you have decades and decades of major dysfunction. Obviously, New Orleans desperately needs some conservative Republican ideology injected into it. That has to be, there has to be another way of looking at things than this hyper woke, liberal, progressive way New Orleans has been doing it for decades. Not Democrat, not liberal, progressive, hyper woke, loony left. Now, Helena Moreno, I don't think is like a John Bel Edwards. She's nowhere near a blue dog Democrat. She's not on the right side of Democrats. I would say she's a little left of center Democrat. I don't think she's progressive or woke or loony left, but she's left of center. If anything, I'd want her right of center Democrat, more towards the right of center. Like I like moderate Republicans, even left-leaning Republicans. I'm an independent. I like more moderate thinking, not these extremes. I think that just gets us in trouble. I think that's easy to prove. So Helena Moreno's a little left of center. She will go a little right of center, in my opinion, not because she's going to have some dramatic ideology change, because she has so much conservative Republican support and so much of everything: black females, black men, white, gay, straight. She's got a gumbo, Latino, Asian. She's got a gumbo coalition, more so than Royce Duplessis or Oliver Thomas. But the key group of all those different groups, conservative Republicans. That ideology needs to be injected into New Orleans politics and New Orleans governing. And if Helena Moreno's elected, I think she will do that because she got so much Republican support and they're counting on that. Helena, here's a check. I'm counting on you to back up some, to come up with some of the conservative Republican ideals. Not all this liberal, progressive, woke stuff. I think that is a key. That's the biggest thing. So we'll see tomorrow. Frank Janusa, the Republican, who's going to come in fourth place. If he garners like 5, 6, 7% of the vote, Helena Moreno might be going into a runoff with Oliver Thomas or Royce Duplessis. If Frank Janusa gets 1, 2, 3% of the vote, I think Helena Moreno has a really good chance of winning tomorrow in the primary. It would be him cobbling away just a little bit of Helena Moreno's white male conservative vote. She's got the majority of that down. She's probably got 90% of the conservative Republican vote. If Frank Janusa takes a little bit of that, it could be enough to keep her from winning tomorrow in the primary and forcing a runoff. I mean, I joked. I said it a little while ago. I've said it for the last few weeks. Oliver Thomas should be donating money to Frank Janusa's campaign to maybe force a runoff. Yeah, tomorrow, Election Day, great weather. Should be a big turnout. Still hot outside. You still need air conditioning. In the morning, you won't need it tomorrow morning, but you'll be cranking it back up. Or it'll just turn on by itself. If you have that thermostat, and 72, 73, by 11, 12, 1 o'clock, it'll crank on. Still need AC. It's New Orleans. If you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of screwing you around. They come with a sense of urgency right away, and they diagnose it right the first time. AC help, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com, Total Maintenance, TM-AC.com. An Uber driver in the French Quarter yesterday around 8:40, carjacked, fought back, the vehicle flipped, he got thrown out and the vehicle landed on him and killed him. The perpetrator fled. 2 other accomplices reportedly are part of this carjacking, 3 people total. A lot of video cameras on businesses in the quarter. They'll be getting these folks soon. Miguel Nation Stemley, nickname Nation. Miguel Stemley of Boutique, Metro New Orleans, right down I-310, killed. An Uber driver in the quarter, trying to make a few extra bucks. Now, these 3 idiots They're going to fine them. They're going to go to jail for the rest of their lives, and it's going to cost us millions of dollars to house
For
them.
game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, no cool spots. TM-AC.com, no cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Picked up some of that today for lunch, Lebanon's Cafe. Boy, is that good. Open till 9:30 tonight. Lamb chop, shish kebab, Lebanon's Cafe. There's an idea for dinner, huh? Fantasy Friday. I got lots of good ideas for dinner. It's New Orleans. It's endless, huh? Plus, a few of the people I talk about on this program, Katie's in Mid-City, Francesca Deli at Seafood Night in Lakeview, Lebanon's Cafe, lamb chop, shish kebab. Tough to beat these places. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Boy, is that place special. What are you waiting for on that, South Shore folks? If you like to eat, you got to get to Gallagher's 527. I'm telling you, top 10, 15 best restaurant in Metro New Orleans. It's just so damn good, so consistent. Pat Gallagher's been doing it for like 50 years. The place is tremendous. Trey Yen right across the street in Mandeville. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. I mean, it's just a little short list. It's folks that I'm talking about that are part of my show. There's only about another 150 really great places to eat in Metro New Orleans, maybe a couple hundred. Incredible. No, tomorrow for lunch, I'll probably go get a shrimp po' boy at Domalisi's Uptown. Tough to beat a Domalisi shrimp po' boy. And a shrimp po' boy as small as like $14. Just a damn good price. The best po' boy deal anywhere. It's one of the best roast beef po' boys in Metro New Orleans. One of the best roast beef po' boys in Metro New Orleans. And a small roast beef is $6.42. And I'm not kidding you. Shortstop's po' boy on Transcontinental, about a block off airline. Shortstop po' boy, Russell's shortstop po' boy. It's been there for about 50 years, literally, like 50 years. A block off of airline on Transcontinental. They even have a drive-through if you want to get a to-go order. $6.42. That's with tax. $6.42 for a small roast beef po' boy. Where in the world, seriously, can you get a high-quality sandwich? Like, it's one of the best roast beef in Metro New Orleans for $6.42. You could go to Burger King and get crap for $6.42, or McDonald's on the dollar menu. Can't spend $6.42 and get something anywhere near that. Maybe the best single food item, meal deal in the world. A super high quality, not just like, it's okay, it's all right, it's middle of the road. It's one of the best roast beef po' boys in Metro New Orleans. And a small is $6.42. That's just silly. I called Russell when I got one about a month ago. I was like, "You're the owner?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Hey, Russell, yeah, this is Corey. I just ordered a po' boy. $6.42. That's ridiculous." He goes, "What, too low?" I said, "Yes." I go, "Dude, if it was $9.42, I'm not complaining. I would have paid like $12.42 for that po' boy. Seriously, like double the price. Instead of $6.42, I'll pay $12.84. You can double the price." No, I tipped the people there like $4 or $5. It ends up costing $10 or $11 because I'm like, God, it's so good and it's so cheap. I'm going to take care of your people. That's how I look at it. I'm giving like a 50% tip practically, 40-something% tip. That's damn good. Great weather, get outside, do some grilling or dine outside. That's the dilemma I'm trying to figure out. Am I dropping coals tonight and grilling and inviting some friends and family over, or am I going to go out with friends and family to a nice dining experience outside in Metro New Orleans? I mentioned Irene's crab meat au gratin, that chicken rosmarino, the best example of that dish anywhere. Outdoor dining in their patio, temperatures in the 60s this morning. It'll be 70s and low humidity tonight. Gorgeous. Get outside and enjoy it. You North Shore folks might see high 50s. And here's something great. This is for the foreseeable future. The next 7 to 10 days, I don't see any rain. And 60s when you wake up, 70 to maybe 80 degrees for a high and low humidity for the next week to 10 days. Blue skies, just gorgeous. Tomorrow, the mayoral election in New Orleans. It's a big, big day. And it's not so much like, I'm not going to sit here and say you can't go wrong. I think you have 3 decent candidates. I'm voting for Helena Moreno. But where you can't go wrong is LaToya Cantrell will no longer be mayor in January. It's about 90-something days left, like 92, 93 days left. It was 100 on Saturday. So 6 days, 94 days left in LaToya Cantrell's administration, 94 days left. That's the big win. We all win by default. We could elect a cinder block, honestly, that makes no decisions for the next 4 years, and we would be better off than LaToya Cantrell. We would at least just be in neutral. LaToya Cantrell was backing up the car into the mud and punching it and just spinning the tires, burning gas, burning up the engine, and going nowhere. No, she set New Orleans backwards. She set New Orleans backwards. Because if you're not moving forward, if you're not competing, if you don't even know where the race is, much less the competitors, you're going backwards. And LaToya Cantrell has no idea who the competitors are, where the race is. She's just, another bad decision that we did twice in New Orleans because of just stupidity. Race, sex, political party, whatever the dopey reason, we elect losers over and over again. Criminals a lot of the time, total deviants, losers. Another indicted mayor. LaToya Cantrell just reeks of incompetence and not being able to do it. I mean, she couldn't manage a McDonald's or a Walgreens, literally. That's a hard job managing a McDonald's or a Walgreens. A lot of responsibility. She's not built for that. Does a little, civic-minded, Broadmoor neighborhood group stuff, and that vaults her to city council and then mayor? No, New Orleanians, do better. Quit voting for race or sex or political party. Do better, for crying out loud. These people reek of incompetence. Pull up trigger for that one. Vote for that one. Susan Hudson got 13% polling. Incompetent Susan Hudson. Vote for anybody but Susan Hudson for sheriff. Think about a winning mentality, wanting to win. Like, how do you win? How do you get to number one? How do we all win? How do we move forward? Not like, how do I piss people off? How do I vote the opposite way? How do I be contrary? I'm going to giggle with my friends about it. I mean, go ahead and do that. Y'all are the big losers, Makes it easier for the winners to compete when there's a lot of losers around. No, tomorrow's an important day. Weather's going to be good. Turnout's supposed to be good. Vote tomorrow for mayor, for sheriff. Sheriff's real easy. Anybody but Hudson. Keep Miguel Stemley's family in your prayers. Killed in a carjacking in the French Quarter. Fought the carjacker. The vehicle flipped. He got ejected and the vehicle landed on him. That's Blue Boy saying, have a great weekend. Wave picking up a win last night. Tigers tomorrow night. Saints on Sunday. Everybody's at home. See you Monday, 4 o'clock right here. Down, Blue Boy. Blue Boy, we got legal ID and stuff. FCC stuff. Down, buddy. Blue Boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Blue.
On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at Nova Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
Zip it, buddy.
It's 6 p.m.
Good boy. Good boy, Blue.